Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is a posterior subcapsular cataract. Nucleus is very soft. Let us observe this surgery. The patient is under topical anesthesia and the patient is having some amount of photophobia, and patient is not able to focus, not able to abide by my instructions. The main incision has been made, and this is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose filling up the anterior chamber. The methyl cellulose is applied over the corneal epithelium, and now two side ports are being made. This is a side port on the right side of the main incision, about 3 clock hours away, and this is another side port on the left side of the main incision, about same distance away. And now Capsulorhexis is to be done. I am using this Utrata forceps for Capsulorhexis. The tip of the Utrata tears the anterior capsule, capsular tag is raised, and then this rhexis is started. My plan is to do a 5mm rhexis in this case, and this patient is going to have Technis 1 monofocal intraocular lens. So this rhexis will overlap the optical part of the intraocular lens. This is hydrodissection, and now the problem is, since the nucleus is very soft, I will not be able to hold this nucleus and chop it. So let us see what can be done. Pisco is injected, and now the tip of the phaco needle goes in with its bevel down towards the nuclear mass. Some superficial cortical lens matter is aspirated, and I find that the lens fibers are very sticky. It's not brittle, and such nuclei cannot be divided easily into fragments. So my plan is to do mechanical chop. I make a small trench, support the nucleus and try to slice the nucleus in front, but it didn't work. My next plan is divide and conquer technique. So I made a trench along the initial chop, and now this is a 90-degree away, another trench. The initial trench is deepened. The central part is deepened more than the peripheral part, and this is another trench 90-degree away. So I have made almost a plus sign, and now I go deeper at the central part and try to divide the nucleus into two heminuclei, and here it is. I could get a nice crack. Here I tried to get another piece, but it didn't work well. So I'm going to crack it along the initial, and I have got two heminuclei, and that is good. Now my plan is to carousel each heminucleus. So in such cases, each heminucleus can be carouseled starting from on edge. This is carouseling of the other heminucleus. Start from on edge and use the vacuum to tumble it and to manage it with very little ultrasonic energy. And it is done. This is the last beat of the nucleus and it has come out. So nucleus, epinucleus, everything has come out, and now we are left with this cortical lens matter. Visco is again injected, and in this case I am going to use Simcoe first and then bimanual irrigation aspiration for cortical cleanup. I'm using the Simcoe for removal of the cortex from the inferior aspect. By this time the assistant is ready with bimanual irrigation aspiration. And now the bimanual is being used to remove the rest of the cortex. Yes, it is done very nicely. Little bit of cortical lens matter sticking to the posterior capsule is hydro polished. And now we're going to hydro implant this Technis monofocal single piece intraocular lens, and the lens goes into the capsular bag. The optical part of the lens is nicely overlapped all around by a rim of anterior capsule. This prevents tilt of the lens. The lens is very nicely centered, prevents PCO to a great extent, and lot of advantages. I injected an air bubble because I want to keep the anterior chamber formed. There was some leakage from the side port. A few spurts of moxie has been injected into the anterior chamber, and now the side ports are closed. Corneal stroma on either side of these stab incisions are hydrated and the wounds get closed. Now this is our final lavage of the anterior chamber. The anterior chamber is lavaged very carefully. The air bubble is removed, and then the anterior chamber is formed very nicely. The integrity of all the wounds are checked. Few drops of moxie is applied over the cornea, and the case is concluded. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this helps.